On DC Music Rocks, we are shining a spotlight on the great songs and incredible people behind the DC region's local music scene. Exnations is a pop trio with connections to Northwest DC. It sounds exaggerated to say that Exnations' love of creating music knows no bounds, but that is quite literally the case. While Sal resides in Brooklyn, Dan and Taylor are in the DMV region. And through the miracle of file sharing, home recording software, and caffeine,
so much
caffeine, they present their latest single that you just heard, Never About the Money. I first stumbled across these guys back last year. I became an Exnations fan, and I've been following them ever since. And it is such a treat to now have you here live with me, Taylor. This is awesome. Thanks for being here.
I feel like I've known you forever, but through the internet.
Right? I was going to say,
the internet is a weird place.
It really is, but it's an amazing place. I love it. Very cool. All right, so right off the bat, talk about Exnations. Now, how does it's a 3-state deal? Like, how did Exnations come together?
Okay, well, I had met Dan, the guitar player, long time ago on the internet, of all places.
Excellent.
We've been Facebook friends for forever. We've been kind of in the same circle. He was in a band called Parks Landing a while back, and I'd always liked the work he'd done. And when I was going through a lineup change, Dan was one of the first people that came to mind. So I met up with Dan, and we clicked right off the bat, and we were like, we need to find a singer. And he hit up an old college friend, Sal, to see if he'd be interested or know anybody who'd be interested in doing this project. And Sal was interested, so the next week probably I went up to Brooklyn. I met him in a record shop in Brooklyn, and about an hour of just chatting and looking at records together, I was like, I want him in my band. I'm not going to meet with anybody else while I'm here, because I was supposed to meet up with someone. I went over my time with Sal, and I was like, this is the man. I want him. So it's kind of how it started.
Wow. Very cool. And now the name Exnations, where does that come from?
Well, originally we were going to be called Nations, and we realized that was a really hard name to pull off, because when you Google Nations,
so true. You would never win the SEO or the search engine optimization battle on Google to find your band in the keyword Nations. This is so true.
Yeah. So we thought the X was cool because we had all come from different bands before. So it was kind of all of these X band members making one new thing, i.e. Nation. So It just kind of rolled into the same name, and that's how it was born.
So the X's were your influence on your name. That's really, it's sort of, there's so many ways to take that, but I really dig it. That's fun. All right, and now, and you're DC, where are you from? You're local here.
I am local. I was actually born in Baltimore. I spent like the shortest stint of time in Georgetown. I was working at Madewell in Georgetown.
Got it.
But I actually moved back to Baltimore, but I still frequent this area because I love it so much. Yeah, and
that's and more, and then more about the DC connection. Then there's so a little bit of time in Georgetown, and then here quite often.
Yeah, and my previous members of Exnations, who I originally met you with, they are actually from DC. So that was kind of like the big DC connection. I was here with them. So
cool. Yeah. So it's a whole generation of DC going on here in a way. Wow. All right, and now talk about you on the personal side now. Outside of the music thing, what's life like for you outside of that?
I have a poodle who's named Poodle.
No. You have a poodle named Poodle? For real?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
You guys can check him out on Instagram. His username is Poodle.
And that way you can never forget what type of dog he is.
Exactly.
Because if you're wondering, Poodle is a poodle. Oh my God. That's
in a bow tie.
Oh no. All right, I'm going to go stalk you on Instagram for that. That's really funny. All right, and what else? So there's a poodle.
There is the Poodle.
Okay.
I like to skateboard. I like to just generally goof off. I watch a lot of really, really bad TV on purpose.
Okay, like what? When you say really bad TV, what does that mean?
I just finished the new version of 90210 the other day. Like I put myself through the trauma of terrible TV. One Tree Hill, been watching it nonstop since 2004. And I love it. It's like something comforting about how horrible it is. I love it.
Oh, man. And to everybody out there who loves those shows, we so appreciate you, too. But that's really funny.
We should talk about it. Like, I do love
it. Reach out and talk to her about 90210 and One Tree Hill for sure. Oh man, that's funny. All right, so now back to you as a performer then. Talk about the funniest moment that comes to mind when you think about performances in Exnations.
Yes. Okay. So this is a fairly new story. It happened over the weekend. I was at Shadow of the City in New Jersey. It's a festival that Jack Antonoff from Bleachers put together. And since we're super close in sound, I thought it'd be a good idea to, promote the band there. So I grabbed a bunch of postcards and went in there. And we were right up front on the stage, and I was passing out some postcards or whatever. And this girl just came up to me after I gave her a postcard. Right then and there, she came out to me, number one.
Came out to you, meaning, so she's a lesbian.
She's a
came
lesbian.
Okay.
I guess I just scream lesbian because
that's something important that people want to tell you. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So she came up to me and she came out to me, grabbed my face, and kissed me. Right then, tried to kiss me.
What?
And I backed away. I was like, I backed away really quickly. And when she could tell that I was visibly uncomfortable, she tried to give me $6. It's really weird.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment because she even almost wanted to pay you for the kiss, or whether that's an insult because it's only freaking $6. What the heck?
Well, the way that I took it, I was worth more than $5 and worth more than $1. So she combined them and gave me the most ultimate gift that she possibly could put together in her inebriated state.
The alcohol was involved.
Oh, yeah.
Now I get it. Okay. Oh man, I love that. All right. So what's something in your music collection that might surprise us?
I am a huge, huge pop fan. Buried beneath all of the Sonic Youth.
Wait a minute, but you are a pop artist.
But I mean pop, like Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah.
Spice Girls, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
okay.
I love top 40s pop. And I'm so open about it. I used to have it as a guilty pleasure kind of thing, but now I'm so open and honest about the pop that I hold dear to my heart. Yeah.
So favorite Spice Girls song?
Oh my gosh.
It's time to admit it.
Am I going to be basic if I say, if you want to be my lover?
You got to be with my friends.
Yeah. I had all the Spice Girl Barbie dolls as a child. Still have them, guys.
Oh, that is excellent. I love it. What? All right, so now go back to the beginning now. When you started performing then, what's your first memory with music? How did music enter your life?
I was 5, and I actually asked for a drum kit. I always knew that I wanted to play drums, and my parents hated that. They're like, we cannot give this rambunctious 5-year-old a drum kit. We cannot do it. So they took me to the music store and got me an electric guitar with no amplifier and closed the door.
And how old were you when this happened?
I was 5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I had this Fender Strat that I would take to elementary school with me that was pretty much the same size of me because we had show and tell at school.
Oh, excellent.
So I would always take my guitar that was bigger than me and play them. I think Mary Had a Little Lamb was my strong suit at the time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was pretty
So it
cool.
started with guitar. And I realized we didn't even mention, so what do you play in the band and what does everybody else play in the band? Who are the members now?
I'm the drummer. I also play synth and dabble in bass in the studio. I don't play bass live or anything.
Okay.
Dan is the guitarist and he does vocals. And Sal is the singer, guitarist, and he also does some synth.
Got it. And so it's 3 pieces going on.
Yep.
That's it. And you're the drummer. Nice. Along with synth and some other things. Now, what about so then your earliest, I'm going to switch gears.
Okay.
If you could offer, this is my favorite question, and I just want to jump to it because I'm excited about it. If you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be?
This is geared towards all the ladies that are playing music. And it's something that you'll experience time and time again, especially when you go to a music store. Stand your ground. You know, don't let people try and school you on something you already know. Does that make sense? I feel like I get the...
Yeah, what's an example? It seems like you have experience with this. What comes to mind?
Like, I almost feel like I'm being tested sometimes with the guys in the industry. Like, they don't really believe that you know what you're talking about or that you can play. You always kind of have to prove yourself time and time again. So when you're at the music shop and you're going in there for something specific and they try and explain to you what you're looking for,
don't take that.
Don't take it.
Tell them you already know. I love it. All right, all the ladies out there, you heard it. Stand your ground in the music store.
Do it.
I love it. That is really cool. And for those folks who like the song and want to follow you in the upcoming EP you said that's going to be released, where do they go to follow Exnations?
You can find everything at exnations.com. We're on Spotify, Apple Music. Super easy to find.
Fantastic. And exnations.com, and then are you social media as well?
Oh, yeah. You can find all of that right on Exnations. And more importantly, for social media, you have to go to Instagram.com/Poodell.
Spell that. What is that?
It's Poodell. That's my poodle's Instagram.
That's your. Oh my God, your poodle has an Instagram. Oh God, I don't know what to say. I don't know whether to be really excited or just laugh hysterically.